Oh my god, dude, I can't believe it. They're freaking doing it. They're gonna knock it out of the park. P6 better watch out. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with your boy, Johnny Go Vroom. If you didn't know, I started this channel because this darn thing saved my life. Electric unicycles got me off the demon alcohol, it got me out of the toxic relationship cycles, and it helps me daily with my mental health. Although you probably couldn't tell from that ridiculous little splurge there. But I'm riding around on the Beode Race. This is an electric unicycle. This electric unicycle was heralded as the fastest of its day and age, which lasted for all of about a week and a half. This electric unicycle has a 210 volt system, which will go all the way to about 70 miles an hour if you have the right battery set up, which is the PL, the 40PL setup, and not the 50S setup. But if you do that, then you're going to forfeit 800 watt of battery. So 800 watt hour battery you're going to be sacrificing if you go with the 40PL, but you will have a little bit faster wheel. If none of that makes sense to you, don't worry about it. This wheel is way faster than you're probably ever going to think about trying to ride it. But we got to talk about what Begode is doing, man. What is Begode even doing? Okay, so if you've been following the channel for any length of time, then you know that I am a big fan of electric unicycles. This particular electric unicycle I ordered about 3 months ago on a whim because Begode launched this whole platform where they had their own website. They're gonna be selling unicycles direct to the customers. They launched the race at $2,480, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even think they're going to deliver anything for that price. So, of course, I got to try to get in on that. This is going to be a great story. If it comes through, it's going to be a fast wheel at a cheap price. If it doesn't, it's going to be a great story. We'll do a chargeback. So it seemed like a win. Now, this is the newest wheel that Begode has, right? And I really want to support the vision that Begode has in this whole trying to go straight to consumer thing. They've all but said F you to so many of their dealers, and it's created a challenging ecosystem for a lot of people. And you want to believe in what Begode's doing. Look, let's just look at the electric unicycle that they're proposing to be the newest in the pissing contest. See, that's the thing. You know, they drop this wheel, then InMotion drops the 235 volt P6, and now, true to form, Begode has to try to one-up the P6, has to try to make sure that they are at the top of the voltage tree. I don't think that is the right way to go. To all Begode warriors around the world, we are excited to sound the call to arms. Test and experience the Begode 252 volt EUC, the highest voltage electric unicycle. Time early December, blah, blah, blah. This is your chance to be among the first to ride the highest voltage electric unicycle in history. After the test, each participant will be given a 252 volt electric unicycle. If you're ready to take on the challenge, please comment below. Our team will carefully select the most passionate candidates. Now, it's clear to me that Begode is pulling a page from the InMotion handbook, and that's quite all right with me. I mean, if you see it and you see it works, and by God, the P6 is selling like hotcakes, so you know it works. You want to get on that applesauce. So I'm all for it, man. Launch, do you, baby, do you. But we are sitting here right now with the most brand newest electric unicycle, and I'll show you exactly what we have going on, what we are dealing with as people who have bought into the dream. We bought the next big thing. We bought the biggest, baddest, and we tried to support Begode, and I'll show you what that looks like. Everybody who has a race and a panther is concerned about the cutouts. Will you comment about what actions are being taken on your end to fix this issue? Whether it be with BMS firmware, upgrades or firmware or motherboards. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Your loyal customers. And you can see straight away this comment is 100 liked 5 times, and a heart from yours true. It is absolutely an issue. So not only did the people who buy a Panther get their price undercut from them less than 2 months after they had their Panther delivered, but they're having to wonder about whether or not that Panther is going to cut out from underneath them. All of that for the low price of $4,400. A big FU and an inevitable wondering whether or not your wheel is going to come out from underneath you. That's the same thing that we're dealing with over here at the race side. We have these wheels. They were $2,500, and yes, that is a cheap price, but if you cannot ride your wheel without fear for the wheel to legitimately just cut out from underneath you, then was that a good value? Did you buy a $2,500 paperweight? I don't know, guys. You tell me in the comments below. My first cutout was at 90%. This is complete baloney, especially when you're cruising. I've never gone beyond 45 miles per hour and never pushed it any harder than my Blitz. So often whenever these cutouts happen, people are always like, oh man, but maybe you were pushing it. Maybe you caused the wheel to cut out. And legitimately, that does happen. People have been prone to push their wheel harder than they ought to push the wheel, and that does cause legitimate issues. Beating their wheels up does cause legitimate issues. But these are people that are getting cutouts at 15 miles an hour, guys, for no reason at all that Begode can answer, isolate, or tell us. That is problematic, that there is not an answer for why this is happening. Right here, professional racer. Their race bricked in a little under 100 miles, so they couldn't ride for 3 weeks, and then they finally got to borrow a friend's race, so they didn't get a chance to even dial in, a chance at a chance, because they trusted the race. This is a professional racer. If this is as fast as he is going to get a motor, I promise you that you are not going to get a motor any faster. And if you stack this along with what's happening with Antonio Vargas and his damn race, you've got a really confusing picture, because you have a wheel that's pointed at being a racing wheel, but it's just fell under pressure every single time with these people that have these regularly, extraordinarily demanding needs out of their wheels. The race just doesn't hold up. This is the brand newest one, and it would be okay if the race didn't hold up, if the support after the fact came back and decided that they were gonna do something about it. But we don't have a timeline for anything. We don't have any answers to any of those questions that I showed you earlier from the race Telegram group. We don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. There are rumors that there's some new parts coming for the batch 2. But guess what you don't get out of purchasing the batch 1? You don't get the batch 2. You get what they send you, and that's okay. I'm not complaining. But the problem is here that if you are going to hop onto this choo-choo train and you are going to spend your hard-earned money, which is going to amount to more than the $2,500 that I spent, I am okay with my purchase. I am perfectly okay with $2,500 for a glass cannon that goes really, really fast and I have to be super delicate with in every single situation, and it doesn't like to jump, and I'm still working my way through it. I am actually finding ways to enjoy this wheel, but that's not what this is about. My dude is on his 3rd board already, replacing it, going through the work. They sent him the board, replacing it, and it still randomly doesn't want to turn on, no matter what he does. He's clearly ready to give up, and I would be ready to give up as well. Dude, Begode doesn't know what's going on. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. They just don't know. So if they're spending time and resources on putting out a new wheel that's even more complex, it's even more powerful, that has even less tolerances, maybe more tolerances, depending on what batch of whatever they purchase from whoever they're purchasing it from. But guys, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? Purchase the wheel at your own risk. I'm pretty sure it's going to go through a rigorous testing cycle, because they're going to have a dream team go over there and knock it out. They're going to have 10 to 15 people influx over there to rock and roll and do the damn thing. So I'm excited to see what happens. But dude, if you own a Begode, just kind of expect to be a forgotten child. Expect, no matter what time you purchased the Begode, for you to kind of have to reach out to the community and do your own due diligence, because they are not going to be there for you. They are not going to be updating the firmware regularly. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope right now they hear this. I hope they snap their fingers and they turn everything around and they actually make their firmware open source, so that way we can maximize on the efficiency from these wheels, because I would venture to say that they give you nothing more than 50% of what's available. They give you 100% of that 50% so you can bust your ass, but it's 50% efficient. By my best guess, these are 50% efficient systems at best, maybe 70% at best, as evidenced by the SV168, which is Russia's answer to high performance wheels going 80 some miles an hour, like 84, 87 miles an hour on a 168 volt platform. So tell me that we're not leaving performance on the table. Tell me that we're not artificially inflating the numbers so we can sell more wheels with this BS. Look, I'll be honest, I haven't had any problems with my race. My race has been top-notch for me. It's turned on every single time. It's charged every single time. It hasn't dropped me at any point in time. But I'm not a fool about what I've got. I know that I've got a glass cannon. I am not going to sit here and try to charge it at 20 amps at the edge of its capacities. I am not sitting here trying to do anything ridiculous on this wheel. I'm not jumping this wheel a lot. I'm not taking it off-road. This wheel gets pampered. This wheel only goes fast. I don't even like to slam on the brakes too much on this wheel. I just want to be able to enjoy it for a long time. I really do. And I'm working on getting more and more joy out of it. To be honest, guys, it's not a horrible wheel. For $2,500, it's a damn good wheel. So if you see any of these races out here because people are disgruntled and they're selling them for like $18,000, $2,000, you know, I mean, like, is it worth it for that price? Hell yeah, it's worth it for that price. Pick it up. But don't expect for Begode to be on top of trying to make all this firmware stuff happen. I've been begging them for a long time to make the firmware open source so that way we can make things happen as a community and support them the way that they support us through all the early racing things. I genuinely appreciate Begode. Anyway, guys, thanks again for being here. My channel members, you guys rock, dude. I can't believe that you guys are actually into it so much that you subscribe to even more of me being ludicrous. Anyway, till next time, ride safe, ride strong. It's been your boy Johnny. Peace.